Ice storm hits Monuriki Island, which results in freezing everything and everyone. Ice is the most unusual thing on the hot island of Monuriki. The ice keeps on spreading and then gathering up on a spot. Ymir, the ice giant of Niflheim, comes out of it roaring. Thor Odinson confronts him, spinning his hammer. He says that Midgard is going to end his villainy. Ymir threatens to silence him with ice. Hulk comes from behind Thor, holding a huge rock. He moves Thor sideways and throws the rock toward Ymir. The rock turns into pebbles after hitting, without causing him any harm. Thor apprises Hulk not to underestimate his war tactics. Ymir silences him by hitting him with the ice spikes. Iron Man flies in, wondering about the presence of ice on the island, as it is not an ice-friendly location like some other cold places. Ymir attacks him too. Iron Man comes down behind him, dodges the ice spikes, and attacks him. Ymir attacks him back, but he flies away, saying that it seems like a movie. Captain America gets in the scene and asks Iron Man to stay on task, as they have to get the casket of ancient winters from Ymir before it opens. Thor adds that the casket has the power of causing eternal winters on Earth. He asks Iron Man to get the casket. Iron Man is still pondering over the presence of ice on the island and getting down to Ymir. Ymir hits him with a fist and Iron Man goes off to the sky like a rocket. Reptile comes onto the island, flies around, and asks Captain America to let him tag into Iron Man. Captain America refuses and asks him to just observe, as he is just a trainee yet. Reptile insists he let him join the team to perish Ymir. He asks him to just check on the boats. Reptile flies to the sea following the order. Captain Marvel appears in the sky and asks Reptile through the earphone not to go too far, as they are going to wrap up Ymir's mess soon. While in the air, she sees a casket in Ymir's hand and informs Captain America. He asks her to make him drop the casket and he will recover it. Thor and Hulk hit the ground to shake it up and make Ymir tremble. Ymir loses his balance. In the meanwhile, Captain Marvel attacks him, and the casket gets out of his hand and falls into the bunch of trees. They all attack him. Ymir screams, rolls away to the lifeguard room, and gets stuck into it with his head down and feet up in the air. While checking on the boats, Reptile spots Loki on the boat and tries to inform Captain America, but loses the connection as Ymir freezes Captain America. Reptile lands on the boat and asks Loki to drop the scepter. Loki ridicules his courage by saying what will he do if he does not drop it. Reptile gets confused. Loki points the scepter toward Reptile to attack him. Reptile gets away from the attack and falls to the edge of the boat. Then Loki points the scepter up to the sky and makes a big hole in the sky. The hole starts vacuuming up everything. In the meanwhile, Ymir tries to attack Captain America, but he comes out breaking the ice wall. It results in the ice spikes hitting Ymir's face. He starts rubbing his eyes. Captain America gets behind him and attacks him with the ice spikes. Ymir goes up screaming and then falls into the sand with only his feet outside. Hulk saves his team by hugging them. Captain America gets the casket. Suddenly, the magnetic hole starts drawing him up. Hulk catches him on the foot and saves him too from going into the hole. On the other hand, everything on the boat is consumed by the hole. Reptile is getting up to the hole, then spreads his wings and starts flying downward to get away from the hole. The tornado starts pulling up Ymir, which hits the flying Reptile on the way. Reptile faints. The hole disappears after consuming Ymir. The ice melts down. Reptile is falling into the sea. Hulk screams to wake him up. He wakes up and gets down on the surfboard and moves to the shore. In the realm of ice, Ymir is sitting on the throne in his ice cave. He accuses Loki of his flopped plan of opening the casket on the island of Monuriki, which is a disadvantage for him as the temperature is too hot there. It weakens his power. Ymir tells him that he has another plan to rule the world. He tells him about Mjolnir, who has extraordinary powers because he is the son of a frost giant and light elm. He resides in Elfheim, the home of light elves. He has immense powers, but he only uses them to help the weak instead of ruling the world. He is also known as Santa Claus, who gives gifts to the children of all 9 worlds in one night. Ymir and Loki plan to usurp his power. Loki makes a magical pathway in the wall and goes in. The path takes him to the jungle, where he finds a big dinosaur. He draws it in his scepter to use it for his next plan. In the meanwhile, Captain America is training Reptile. He asks him to not get into trouble until he joins the team. Captain Marvel and Iron Man ask him not to get too hard on Reptile. They hear the thunder sound and go out to see what makes the earth tremble. They see the huge dinosaur entering the city, crushing everything on the way. It throws the bus in the air, and Iron Man tries to hold it but fails. Hulk catches the bus when it is about to hit the ground. Hulk punches the dino to get it away in the air, but it falls back on him. Iron Man tells them that they don't need any weapon to defeat the dino. He asks Reptile to take up his dinosaur face. He let him stand in front of the dino. They all step back. Dino looks at Reptile and takes him near its face. It starts to lick Reptile, considering him its child. The beast's terror changes into a motherly feeling. They defeat the dino without using a single power. On the spaceship, Rocket Raccoon is fixing the ship again after messing up 7 times. He asks Groot to push the button. Groot pushes it, which fires up the electric unit. He extinguishes it and throws away the tool. He wants to buy a new ship. He sees a wanted ad with the picture of Mjolnir on screen. He checks the profile of Mjolnir, the Santa Claus, who is accused of burglary, animal cruelty, and stealing cookies. He wants to get to Santa Claus in Elfheim to get the reward. They set the location on the panel and off they go. Loki and Ymir enter Elfheim, a place with rainbow colors all around. They admire it and go in search of Santa Claus to get the ancient powers. In the meanwhile, Thor gets back from Asgard after handing them the Casket of Winter. The Marvel heroes talk about the arrival of the she-dinosaur, and the plan Loki behind sending the dino into the city, just to distract the heroes from the real problem that is usurping the powers of Santa Claus. Hulk and Thor go in search of Santa Claus to give gifts to the people. Captain America along with Captain Marvel, Iron Man, and Reptile goes to the realm of Elfheim to save the ancient powers. Loki appears in the garb of an old man. Commander Athel of the Emerald Guard confronts him and asks him if he needs any help. Loki throws away his garb. As soon as Commander Athel understands the matter, Ymir attacks him from behind. They make him hostage and ask him to guide them to the Casket of Ancient Powers. On the other hand, the Marvel heroes land in the realm of Elfheim. They see the cookie trees all around. Suddenly, the elf guards attack them with arrows. The Marvel heroes try to make them believe that they are not enemies, but the elves keep on asking to free Commander Athel. They start to fight again. After a while, the elves hear them out that the real villains are in Elfheim to get powers, and they might have kidnapped Commander Athel. For the sake of the safety of Santa Claus, they are ready to take the help of the Outlanders and take them along. Raccoon and Groot get into Elfheim. There are gingerbreads all around them. Raccoon tells him that they have to find the sleigh to reach out to Santa as he rides on the sleigh. Raccoon takes out the button from one of the gingerbread men to eat. The gingerbread man snatches it back angrily. The gingerbreads wake up and attack Raccoon and Groot. They both attack them back, resulting in turning the bread into zombies. They run away to save their lives. Ymir and Loki along with Commander Athel enter a narrow cave where the casket is being kept. While reaching the casket, Kraken, the huge animal, the savior of the casket, wakes up and stops Ymir and Loki. Commander also makes his hands free. He says that it is the end of Loki, but Loki dodges it and attacks Kraken back. Ymir freezes Commander Athel. Loki blocks the pathway and draws Kraken into his scepter. The Marvels along with the elves enter the cave too, but they see the rocks turning into a blockage. Suddenly, Kraken appears from the ground and starts attacking the Marvels. They fight it back. Commander Athel of the Emerald Guard appears and blows a whistle with an instrument that calms down Kraken, and he goes under the ground again. He tells that this relic was found near Kraken when they found him first. He further tells them that Ymir and Loki have stolen the casket. He escapes through the secret pathways. Captain of the Emerald Guard and Iron Man have a heating wordplay again. The elves refuse to take the help of Outlanders. Captain America asks them to let them do their job on their own and assures them that they will not get in their way. The Marvels go out on their venture again. On the other hand, Hulk and Thor find a man named Nick who looks like Santa Claus. They ask him to wear the Santa Claus costume and accompany them to give gifts to the people. He agrees, and off they go in the sleigh carried by Thor. Raccoon and Groot are waiting up on the rock. They keep an eye on the road to trap Santa Claus as he arrives there. They see a sleigh with a rider in a Santa-like dress all covered up. Groot clutches the rider with its bushy hand. The rider tries to say something. Raccoon asks Groot to let the scarf a bit loose to see Klaus. He loosens the grip. The mask goes down. It is Mrs. Klaus, who is in the garb of Santa Claus. She assumes that they are Santa's friends and tries to play a prank on him. She takes them along to the residence of Mjolnir, Santa Claus. In the meantime, Ymir and Loki are sitting near a tree down the slope. Santa resides up on the mountain, but Loki fails to make a portal to enter Santa's residence as there is an invisible magical wall. Loki sees the Marvels down on the road, moving towards Santa's home. He asks Ymir to wait for the Marvels to finish the elves, then they will be able to go to Santa's place. The Marvels are halted on the way by the elves. The elves ask them to leave the place, but Marvels insist on meeting Santa and saving him from the evil plan of Loki and Ymir. They fight again. Marvels get to the place of Mjolnir. As soon as Captain America holds the door hoop to open the door, the house disappears. The elves arrive there too. They point the spears and arrows toward the Marvels. After a few word exchanges with Reptile, they end the differences as they trust the youngest one as well as the cause of their fight. Santa Claus goes on his journey. Commander Athel tells them that Santa is gone on its favorite journey. He starts it from Midgard. The Marvels bid farewell to the elves and begin their journey to the North Pole to find Santa Claus. After their departure, Loki along with Ymir comes to the elves and asks them for the treachery against Santa Claus. They refuse to join hands with him. On this, Loki uses his powers and influences their minds to become treacherous. On the other hand, Mrs. Klaus reaches the house of Santa but finds out that he is already off on his way. She asks to take them along as she knows where Santa is. Raccoon refuses her, saying that they have a ship to travel, and asks her just to tell them where Santa will be found. She gets excited to hear about the flying ship and asks them to take her along on the ship. Hulk is throwing the gifts down from the sleigh. It looks like fireballs that result in a boom after hitting the ground. The Marvels travel through the North Pole to reach Santa before Loki reaches him. They get to the residence of Mjolnir after passing through the snow-capped pathway. They get in the house and have hot chocolate by sitting near the fireplace to get some warmth. They are waiting for Santa to come. On the ship, Santa's wife is driving the ship to Santa's residence. She tells Raccoon and Groot that Santa has been waiting for this night to come, so he can give the gifts to all the kids of the world without expecting any reward. After knowing about the real character of Santa, they regret believing in the wrong allegations against Santa. In the house of Santa Claus, Iron Man is looking for cameras because he thinks that it is just a prank, and he still does not believe Santa's existence. Reptile asks him why he does not believe Santa. Iron Man asks him back the reason for believing in Santa. Reptile tells that he has a memory of Santa. His parents were paleontologists, and they used to live in tents mostly as they were always on the digs. He lost his toy dinosaur. Then he started writing to Santa to give him dinos. And one morning, their tent was in a jungle, and he found a large number of toy dinosaurs all around. That's why he believes in Santa. Captain Marvel tells her Santa memory. She used to love the F-15 toy jet. She wrote to Santa and asked for a jet. Though she did not get the toy, she got a ticket to a real jet parade, and also got the chance to sit in a real F-15 jet. She says that it is a dear memory of hers. Captain America also adds up his memory. Then they ask Iron Man why he does not believe. He says that in childhood, he once asked his father about the existence of Santa Claus, and his dad told him to write a letter to Santa. He did so, but after a few days, the letter returned with an undeliverable stamp. That is why he does not believe in Santa. Loki arrives outside the house of Santa Claus. He attacks with his scepter through the wall. Iron Man saves the team by holding a table in between the scepter's evil energy and the Marvels. They go out and see Loki along with Ymir and the treacherous elves who are influenced by Loki. Loki asks them about Santa Claus. The Marvels refuse to tell him. The villains attack the heroes and take them down. Ymir rises the ice spikes to confine them in the cold so they will agree to tell them. Suddenly, some things are getting down like fireballs. The things are gifts being dropped down by Hulk. Thor and Hulk arrive along with Nick. Thor spins his hammer and throws it straight into the spikes to break them down to free them. The Marvels ask Hulk and Thor how they found Santa Claus. They say that it is not Santa Claus but just a doppelganger, who agrees to get with them to give presents to kids as he looks like Santa. Loki hostages Reptile and asks the heroes to hand Santa to him if they want Reptile, as he needs to usurp Santa's ancient powers. Marvels try to convince him to end this madness of getting power, but he does not give an ear to their advice and keeps on asking for Santa Claus. Santa comes into the scene saying that he does not need to look for him anymore as he is already there. Loki attacks him with the scepter energy, but Santa just gets it away as if it were a fly. He says to Loki that he can act nice, but instead he chooses naughty. He tricks him by replying that he can be nice with the help of Santa Claus. Suddenly, he throws Reptile and opens the casket, pointing it towards Santa Claus. The casket usurps the powers of Santa Claus. Reptile gets in between the power transfer and takes Mjolnir away, but of no use. Santa faints down. Reptile asks him to wake up, but he does not open his eyes. On the other hand, Loki transfers all the power of the casket within him and starts attacking the Marvels. He confines them in a shell-like energy that starts squeezing. Reptile keeps on trying to wake up Santa. Santa wakes up, and the energy wall that has confined the Marvels disappears. They all attack Loki and make his knees down. Ymir attacks with the ice spears and encloses everyone within the spikes. There comes the ship. It bombs Ymir and gets him down, then breaks the spikes to free everyone. The ship lands and Mrs. Klaus, Raccoon, and Groot come out. After the defeat of Loki, the minds of elves get out of his treacherous influence. Commander Athidal imprisons Loki for eternity. The villainy of the evils ends there. On the other hand, Marvels ask Santa Claus to take them along for this special night as they want to assist him in delivering the gifts. Santa takes them along on his huge sleigh. They deliver the gifts. Santa gives gifts to the Marvels as well as to Raccoon and Groot. He thanks Reptile for saving his life. Iron Man receives his childhood letter as a gift. Mrs. Santa gives Raccoon a new ship. Then, they ride to Santa Claus and the Marvels. Santa makes Groot a luscious tree as Groot always wishes for it. Then, they start singing the song of Santa Claus.